Hi, Camila. Thank you for this interview. I'm going to ask you some questions about the Padre Tembleque Aqueduct and about your visit in this place, okay?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so let's start with before visiting the aqueduct, how much did you knew about it and what motivated you to come? And finally, what does that tell you about how well this site actually is? How well known this site actually is?
Honestly, before coming here, I barely knew anything about the aqueduct of Padre Tembleque. I had maybe heard the name once, but I never really understood what it was or why it was so important. I mostly came because someone recommended it to me and said it was under. After seeing it, I'm actually surprised it isn't way more famous, and I feel like most Mexicans probably don't even know this exists, which is crazy considering how impressive it is in person.
Okay. And in standing in front of the aqueduct, what surprised you the most about it? And what do you think the average Mexican would tell if they saw this for the first time?
The thing that surprised me the most was just how massive it is, because in photos it looks interesting, but standing right in front of it, it feels completely different. You start imagining how difficult it must have been to build something like that hundreds of years ago. Mexicans seeing it for the first time would probably feel proud, but also confused about why nobody really talks
And
about
when
it
you
that
look
much.
at structure like this, built like from the Spanish and hundred of indigenous communities working together, what does that story make you feel about your own cultural identity as a Mexican?
It honestly makes me think a lot about what being Mexican means, knowing that indigenous communities and Spanish prior work together to gives me the feeling that Mexican identity comes from many different roots mixed together. Sometimes in school, history feels very divided, like Spanish on one side and indigenous people on the other. But seeing something like this makes it feel more real and more connected.
Do you think the communities living near the aqueduct today have a strong connection to it, or does it feel like the site belongs more to the institutions than to the people? And what are your impressions?
I think local people probably do feel connected to it because it's part of their everyday environment and history, but at the same time, it also feels very institutionalized, like it belongs to UNESCO or the government more to the people themselves. The way it's presented sometimes feel more academic or touristic than personal, and I think that creates a little distance between the site and the community.
Okay. Well, finally, if you could change one thing about this heritage site, and how is it communicated to the public, whether through social media, schools, tourism, what would it be and why?
I would definitely change the way it's promoted to younger people. I feel like if it was shown more on social media or documentaries or even on TikTok videos, many more people want to visit this place. In school, we learn about the same famous places over and over, but nobody about this aqueduct. I think people would appreciate Mexican history more if sites like this were presented in a more relatable and modern way.
Okay, Camila, thank you very much for the interview.
And thank you.